All right. Thank you for tuning in for another episode of BSing with Y Eagle Y. And we have DuhZeez. So,
Again.
yeah, once again. So,
I just realized I matched my chair too.
imagine.
Purple Fortnite.
Yeah.
They gotta match, man. You gotta have some style.
What's
The
been go-
ladies love it.
What's been going on?
Yeah, nothing. Nothing with me. A lot of stuff's going on out there in TV land.
I know. I seen Hollywood on fire, but
Did you see they had I think it was an AI of the Hollywood sign on fire and people believed it?
was that
It was fake.
legit? It was fake.
No, it was I'm pretty sure it was an AI like video or picture of the Hollywood sign on fire.
Huh.
That AI stuff is gonna be bad, man. I'm telling you, like
Hard to
these people telling me,
differentiate.
yeah, I got my my mom loves those stupid AI videos on Facebook. I think it is Facebook. Yeah, it's like they always have like these cute animals or like polar bears or some stupid crap, and it's all AI.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why are you watching that crap? All you're doing is making it where they're going to produce more because they're getting views on it. Oh, it's so cute, and I'm like, you're the problem. You are part of the problem.
What'd she tell you?
It and she's like, oh, I like it though. I'm like, yeah, it's that stuff is just it's gonna be ubiquitous soon. It's gonna be everywhere. But the problem is, you got idiots who will use it and do stuff like that with the Hollywood sign and other stuff just for views. And
Well,
that just annoys the piss out of me.
you can pretty much put somebody else's face on somebody's body nowadays.
Oh yeah, they've been doing that for years. Like
Yeah, but it's getting so
for
good, you know.
for other reasons.
Uh huh.
Mhm.
I seen old Mel Gibson was doing a podcast with Joe Rogan, and uh, it was funny because he said all their tax dollars probably went on Gavin's hair gel. You know,
Mhm.
I mean, it was a joke. It was a joke, but it was pretty funny because
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was given so many billions of dollars to prevent fires for California, and they've done nothing.
Yeah.
And then
He didn't
they,
even listen to Smokey Bear because only you can prevent forest fire. He didn't listen.
no. Well, yeah, did
I'm
you see?
surprised this hair gel didn't catch fire.
Did you see they cut the water off? Huh?
Oh yeah, they gotta save them smelts, man. Them smelts are more important than the people there.
Yeah,
You know,
that's horrible.
it's bad when the smelt catches fire because they're in the water.
It's, the smoke
I
smell.
wonder how that smells. Yeah, imagine the smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that podcast with Mel Gibson. Man, I wish I had his voice. Mel Gibson's got such a good voice, dude. I would be like the number one podcast if I had that voice.
Well, that
I'd have all the ladies.
him and the guy that played on Dirty Jobs. You know what I'm saying? That dude.
Oh yeah,
I've listened to his podcast, and like he does the TV. He does his own. You know, he talks for his show, and like you can follow along. Unlike my country voice.
yeah. Mine just doesn't carry and sounds weird. Like he should have called it Dirty Steve Jobs, and then
Dirty Steve
people get.
Jobs. But yeah, I also seen something else in today's news is Trump wanting to buy Greenland.
Oh yeah. Oh, I
Um,
said that years ago. We should have bought that place. It's got plenty of land. You could send. What they should do with Greenland is what they did with Australia and make it a prison colony and send all the riffraff over the middle of nowhere. Take all these people who are the illegals that are the ones that are causing crime and doing horrible things, you're going to Greenland. Start mining.
I don't know. You seen pictures of Greenland? That's nice. I mean, it'd be cold, but
The lower part, yeah. The
mm,
upper part is not so nice. It's like um, it'd be like the gulags in Russia or
psh,
in Siberia, where it's like snowing 11 months out of the year.
yeah. Well, I mean, another reason why they're trying to get their hands on it is because of the minerals. You know, I seen that they have what the minerals, uranium. Russia was talking about wanting to get that Greenland as well. So that's
Like we need more freaking nuclear stuff.
yeah.
You know, there's so many nuclear weapons still that they decommissioned that they could use. We don't need any more uranium. That we don't. What we need is thorium. That's what we need more than uranium.
What would you use that for?
Thorium, that's you can use it for the same things as uranium and plutonium for like nuclear power plants, but it's far safer.
Hmm.
Um, the radiation I think degrades quicker, but it's still it'll still heat up. You can't just supplant it. I mean the power plant has to be made for the thorium, but it's supposedly a lot safer than the plutonium and uranium because when you irradiate stuff with plutonium and uranium, it stays irradiated for years and
Thousands.
years. Yes,
So
with thorium, I think the decay rate's a lot higher, so it's only like 100 or so years versus thousands of years to decay.
well, it
It's a lot
seems
safer.
seems like us as a society, if it sounds or if it's the correct way to do it, we do the opposite. So
Well, they
uh,
do the way that costs them the least and will make them the most money. They don't care about anything else
yeah.
for the most part. I mean, they've tried like the solar and the wind, but I think that's kind of a racket. Like they do it just to say, "Oh, look, we're doing stuff that's green," but it takes so much energy to make those products that it will take like 30 to 50 years for those products to produce enough energy to offset the production of those products. But people are like, "Oh no, it's green." No, it's not.
Yeah,
You still have to use.
that's what kills me about those windmills, man. Like, oh, look how it's so green. You know, we should put these everywhere, but it takes oil in the gearboxes. Like I said in
Yep.
previous episodes,
Maintenance.
oil in
Yep.
the
Go ahead.
gearboxes and the fiberglass, the diesel for the concrete. I mean, when they break down and catch fire, what are you going to do with them? And then
Mm.
when the birds they
Use them
kill,
as
yeah,
use them as props for really big planes.
yeah, sky
What they ought to
planes.
do, what they I have a solution to that. What they ought to do to offset the cost, they put little baskets on it and charge to ride around on it, like some freaky ass Ferris wheel for only like 3 people now.
Hmm.
And then when it goes too fast, they fly off.
Well,
But they could charge rides.
speaking of those windmills, it looks like the current administration trying to ban drilling in the Gulf of Mexico. But did
Yeah, I
you
oh, go
see
ahead.
you seen what Trump plans to do? I mean, it's going to be from Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America.
Oh yeah, yeah, changing the name of it. Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause we have like the most coastline and stuff. Well, I don't know how you would do that because all that pretty much once you go out a few miles, that's all like I f international waters. Even the Gulf of Mexico would be considered international to a point, I believe.
I believe it's like
Um,
I don't remember what
depending
it
on some.
was. This let me see.
The drilling in the Gulf though is kind of a double-edged sword because if we have another incident like they had with that, one that broke and started pumping oil into the Gulf, and they had to put crap on it to get the oil off the surface. That was, you know about that? There was like a mutagen they put on there to get rid of the oil, the crude oil that was coming out of the horizon. Was it the
Uh,
Horizon one?
yeah, yeah. Deepwater Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had to make special ships that would skim the surface of the water for the crude, but a lot of the crude goes to the bottom. So they were dumping stuff to break it down, I think is what it was. There was fish for a long time that were mutated. People were pulling them up, and they were all mutated because it's a known mutagen that they put in there. So that's the kind of scary part about drilling in the Gulf. When you go that deep, the safety aspect has got to be number one, not just for the people doing the drilling, but just in case that doesn't happen again. But also, stuff that's that deep is under a lot of pressure. So I don't know how they're pulling the oil out because normally, like, I mean, I think you know how oil rigs work, where they especially on land, they'll pull the oil out and they'll supplant it with mud, right? They'll force mud back in.
Yeah. Control the
So
flow.
yeah, and it
Yeah.
also, it's not just a big hole underground where they've pulled oil out and then, but with the Gulf, it's so much pressure. I don't think they can force enough down into that to supplant the oil. So my concern is, when you're pulling oil out, what is replacing it?
What they still do like they do on land is they put mud, different viscosities though. So, I'm not an expert when it comes to offshore stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that,
just
but I know that they
uh,
do.
uh,
The drilling platforms do still have mud tanks and stuff like that, even offshore. But
but they force that down that deep.
oh yeah, I'm
That's a
sure.
lot of pressure.
Uh,
Uh,
another,
didn't know if they still did or not.
I know what we were talking about earlier about international
Camera
waters.
is not focused.
I looked up. Oh,
My camera just went.
yeah, you're out of
It's not wanting to
focus.
focus. Come on.
All right. So little technical difficulties, but so international waters. It says 12 nautical miles, so approximately 22.2 kilometers. Um, that's from marineinsight.com.
Yeah.
And
So
then,
as soon as you get past that point, it's international, right?
yes.
So the Gulf of Mexico is huge. You wouldn't be able to just say, "Oh, that's ours now," because that's international. I don't know. I mean, he can say it. It's just,
I don't know.
I think a lot of stuff is a bit grandiose.
I guess we'll find out when it happens. I mean, there's going to have to be some way to overturn the damage that's been done to these regulations.
Yeah. I think one of the main things he should probably focus on is Panama, because that's a load of bull crap what they did,
But
with that.
I could have swore I seen uh, something about taking back Panama.
Yeah. He's talking about taking back the canal
Yeah.
because we paid for it and all that.
Yeah.
But
The
I'm talking
Panama
about
Canal.
also not only taking back the canal, but also forcing Panama to stop all these people from, migrating north to the U.S., because that's the smallest point. Remember, I said if I was president, I would declare war. But I'm serious. They need to tell Panama, hey, you stop letting these freaking people through, or we're coming for you.
Yeah.
That's an invasion force, and you're allowing it, so you're complicit, and we're done with that crap. That's what he should, in my opinion, that's what he should do. But
Well,
they would have to vote me as president.
speaking of invasion, I seen the was it Puerto Rico? Yeah, Puerto Rico governor just recently asked Trump to intervene after Venezuela threatened to invade that U.S. territory. Did you see that?
Huh. No, I think you told me about it, but I didn't really look into it yet. That
I get
dude's wild.
Manduro, I guess that's how you pronounce his name.
Maduro, yeah.
But
Isn't he the one that was like "afuela, afuela"? He's getting rid of all those woke programs.
uh,
I
don't get me lying. Yeah,
don't see that happening.
yeah, that's crazy. How you just gonna invade American territory?
Well, if you research what the U.S. did to Venezuela prior to him being there, how the U.S. that's part of the reason you got so many woke and woke gets thrown around, but all these progressive programs in these other countries like Brazil and Venezuela is because the U.S. government is involved in those countries big time. They just don't, talk about it much.
Yeah.
And the reason is because of oil. They want Venezuela. Venezuela is loaded with oil. So is Brazil, and the U.S. wants it. You know the old meme of if you got oil, the U.S. is coming. With it's just
So,
the soldiers. The soldier meme. They have oil. So yeah, the U.S. meddled in Venezuela's government for a long time. So I guess Maduro's like pissed off about it.
yeah, there's no telling. Yeah, truthfully, there's no telling how much damage has been done, you know, within the past few years. And as it trickles in and the effects, they always come last. It's almost like an earthquake and a tidal wave. So you have the earthquake, and then, you know, next you have the tidal wave, and causes more destruction usually. So,
Oh yeah,
um,
that's like that's like what we see with the economy. It's a wave. So when they printed more money, you're not going to see the effects right away.
it's
It's going to
like a
come later.
balloon, like a balloon effect, so, so to
Yeah,
speak. And then eventually it reaches its point to explode.
but you know that they're going to serve you the answer to it. They create the problem,
Oh
and then
yeah,
they're like, "Oh, here's the solution.
that's the
We just
American
need
American government way.
we just need more tax money to offset all the crap that we've already done."
You can only print so much
Mhm.
before it turns bad.
Yeah, they're gonna run out of ink and have to start writing IOUs. OU for this guy. OU.
I don't know if you're aware, but you remember previous episodes we talked about Robert Kennedy, and I wonder if he's already starting with his, the Food Administration, because I read something about the red dye number 3 is being banned in America, even after decades of evidence of it causing cancers in rats. So in the labs,
Oh yeah.
they just continue to feed it to the American people. And, I just, when I read that headline, I was like, man, it's got to do with him. It got to be.
I think maybe they're preparing. Like
They
they
already know
see
what he
what's coming
wants.
and they're like, "Oh." Yeah, that's like that. I saw a commercial for I think it was a shampoo on TV, Head and Shoulders, I believe, and they were like, "Oh, our new 6 ingredient shampoo. It doesn't have crap in it." And I'm like, "What? You could have done that for the past 40 years, not put crap in it." And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they're like, "Oh, look, we got this new shampoo.
Nah,
It's all
doesn't
natural.
doesn't
Doesn't
cause
have
hair
this.
loss.
Yeah, it doesn't have all this stuff we've been putting in it for the past 50 years." It's like, eh, too late. I'm not using your crap.
Yeah.
So I think it's they're preparing for what's coming more than he's actually in there yet, because they know he's going to focus on all that, which is good. It's about time, because that's not the only thing that's cancer causing. There's so many things that if you research it, other countries don't use it,
It's
but the
banned.
U.S. has it in all the food. Yeah, even the UK, which allows a lot of crap they shouldn't. They have less stuff they allow than the US does. The US is like, "Oh, it causes cancer. Does it do it right away? No.
Hmm.
Oh, go ahead and put it in there.
Well,
It's fine.
you don't even
It's
have to
non-toxic."
go. You don't even have to go very far though, because you can go to Canada and take a look at their cereal. You know,
Yeah, in Mexico.
yeah, Mexico. Oh, I'm gonna tell you one thing I noticed is that the like people from Mexico, if you could watch them, if they go to a vending machine, they will not buy a regular Coke. I don't.
Nope,
They will buy like
I
Coke.
wouldn't either.
They will buy Coke Zero or Diet Coke, but they will not buy a regular Coke or a soda. Like, I was like, man, that's weird. You know. But if you go to Mexico, they use like very little sugar, and I think it's cane sugar. It's not that
Yeah,
processed
it's good.
sugar. So
It's not high fructose crap.
yeah,
I've been talking about high fructose corn syrup for years and how bad it is, and it's probably most likely it's the cause of all the rise in diabetes because the diabetes rate has gone insane through the roof in the past 20 years, and they're like, well, we don't know what it is.
Well, that's
Well, why is
I
all this diabetes?
don't know if you watched that Robert Kennedy podcast, but he was talking about like in the 1950s. You can look back at most of like the sport pictures and stuff like that. Look in the stands, and it was hard to find a fat person.
Oh
So
yeah, yeah.
then now he's like, what changed? What changed
Hard to find a
was
skinny person now.
well, yeah, it's hard to find a skinny person. And what changed is like they're pushing all these sugars, these processed sugars and stuff that he said. And, you know, that's like you have way more sugar than a natural fruit. And when I say natural, I'm talking about not grown in, labs.
Not
Cause
Monsanto fruit. Yeah.
yeah, cause like say if you can grab fruit these days and it's much sweeter than the fruit that was back in the early 1930s and stuff. That's
Yeah, and it stays good for 6 months sitting there on your shelf. That apple does not go bad for 6 months.
yeah.
I'm not
Well,
kidding. You know
that's
what I'm talking about.
that coating on there too.
Yeah,
Did
they
you
put a
see?
shellac on.
Yeah.
Well, they Monsanto spliced beaver DNA into a lot of vegetables and fruit. And what it was is because beavers create a natural shellac, and so that's why you have apples and stuff now that don't go bad for months and months and months because they have that shellac coating on them, and it prevents bugs from getting into 'em. Yeah, look it up. Anyone out there, look it up. We
but
don't have the thing.
well, they also say that when you buy fruit and vegetables, you have to rinse it. You know, and
Oh,
mm, I've even seen it go as far as wash your fruit and vegetables in soap and water, which that's pretty
mhm.
that's pretty rough. But
But even that, I question that too, though, because I mean, granted, you're going to wash off some of the pesticides or whatever's on it, but fruit is not just like a piece of steel where you can wash it and it's okay. Usually, it has. It's like your skin. It's got pores and
mm,
it's got so that when you spray it with chemicals and stuff, that's soaking into it.
yeah,
Even if you wash it off, you're gonna get some. That's why they stopped using DDT because DDT was bad enough, but it soaks into the fruit and you still eat some of it.
yeah, I seen it. It's gotta absorb some percentage of chemicals, pesticides, and even the stuff you spray on the outside layer.
Yeah, yeah, it's still getting into the fruit. It's just not quite it's best to wash it. I'm not saying don't wash it, but I'm just making the point that no matter what they spray on it, if they spray anything, it's gonna get into the meat of the fruit. It's not just gonna stay on the outer layer. Um, yeah, it's insane to me how you know a lot of the sugars and all that's in the food. It's meant to sell more food because sugars are addictive. That's why they put monosodium glutamate and high. They know that high fructose corn syrup is more addictive than sugar. They know that. That's why they use it. Um, so it doesn't really have anything to do. Obviously, it doesn't have anything to do with you know health, but it has to do with they can sell more because it addicts the customers to the product. That's why it's so hard for a lot of people to get off of Coke, Coca Cola, not cocaine. I'm
Yeah.
being kidding.
Maybe back in the 30s, it was probably hard to get off of Coca Cola.
Oh yeah, when they actually had the stuff in. Now, anybody out there who's tried a Mexican Coke, it is 1,000 times better than the crap that we get here. And I've
Ah,
noticed too, I don't know if you noticed this when you used to drink Coke, because I don't know if you still drink it, but I used to drink it. And the plastic bottles, every now and then, it would have this funky taste to it.
hmm,
Like it would taste like the only way I can explain it is if you know those love bugs that you have in this country,
yes.
they have a smell to them. It tastes like those things smell when you smush them. Don't ask me how I know that.
No, but I
Horrible.
did see like studies show that even stuff in not even a Coke, but in plastic items that we drink from, a lot of plastic,
Yeah.
microplastics. Um, and I looked into like waters with aluminum cans, and California has no plastic. It has aluminum
Yeah.
bottles, water, whatever. But when it migrates to this area, man, it's a fortune. Like there's several
Mhm.
there's brands that have the aluminum can and not the
Mhm.
bottle, and you're looking at like double the price. So
Yep. But even a lot of aluminum cans, they coat it with plastic on the inside. You know that, right?
no.
Yeah. You look it up. A lot of aluminum cans have a plastic coating. It's to prevent the aluminum from breaking down because Coca-Cola is acidic. If you put aluminum in Coca-Cola without the coating, it'll eat it. Phosphoric acid is very reactive to aluminum, and that's what they use in Coke. So they have to put a layer of plastic.
I just I just seen a headline. All right, so it says, you know how you have your serial killers, all right,
Oh yeah,
but
the
it's
Lucky Charms and
no, like people, right? But now it's serial killers, which is like your cereals, breakfast cereals, and it's got
yeah,
RFK Jr. or RFK because of banning the red
and he's
food
stabbing a box
dyes.
of Fruit Loops.
No, it's crazy, but
Do an AI image of RFK stabbing a box of Fruit Loops with a chef knife.
yeah, that'd be
It's
somebody needs to drop that in my comment box. Put that together and send it to us. But yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, that cereal has. If you ever research cereal, that is some a lot of it's some horrible, horrible stuff.
Oh man.
Uh,
Oh, I got. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's Yuka. It's a Yuka app.
oh yeah, why
Yeah, Yuka.
UK?
YUKA. And it scans. And no, I don't have. I'm not being paid. um, but I downloaded it, and you can scan pretty much any food item, and you'll change the way you buy stuff depending. I mean, like you can
Yeah, it
scan.
works.
Let me see. I
Yeah,
scanned some of the breakfast foods.
it works pretty good, but I do know I've tried it and it does get some things wrong, and also some things that are in there it doesn't ping. I don't know if it's just not updated.
Yeah, I seen that as well. But
Yeah,
say,
they're adding new crap to the food every day, so it's probably hard for it to keep up.
all right, Coca Cola. It just tells you, like, it'll tell you what additives and stuff like that. You know, it's different items you can scan. It'll tell you.
I scanned my bottle of fentanyl and it said it was safe.
Yeah, okay.
It, something's wrong with it.
No, but like for kids cereals, you can scan it and it'll tell you there's so many coloring additives and stuff that are terrible. It
Pack a ton of sugar.
gets
I
practically
used to
as
love Lucky Charms.
yeah, gets practically like a zero rating out of 100. So,
Mhm.
but
Yeah, that Lucky Charms, man, I used to love Lucky Charms. I used to eat all the little regular pieces and save the marshmallows for last. So I'd have like just a bowl of marshmallows one day a week.
yeah,
Probably what happened to me.
and you remember like it was Tony the Tiger Frosted Flakes.
Hmm.
The old commercials, you know, like you see
They're
it,
great.
you see them every now and then, but that's just like you used to go shopping in the mall, and now you can order everything online. You know,
Yeah, you can order all those fake Chinese knives. You don't have to go to that store that's got all them swords.
or the
Mm-mm.
middle aisle, where you can actually jew them down.
Oh, the ones that are always selling the rings and stuff and the phone cases and all that.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I got a phone case.
Yeah, $20. I'd be like, nah, give me two for 15. No,
Yeah,
but
shoot. All the malls are just gone. Like almost every mall is just
yeah,
not
there's
nearly what it was.
nothing left in there. And we used to like walk around. You can go to like a gaming store. I mean,
Hmm.
it was pretty cool, to be able to do that now, or wait for a game to come out. Remember the people that lined up for like at Game Stops and stuff,
Oh
and
yeah,
they're there
yeah.
after midnight camping out.
We used to have Babbage's and Funko Land. Funko Land was so good,
I
and
remember
then
Babbage's.
the internet killed Funko Land because Funko Land had like old Nintendo games for reasonable prices. And then when the internet came along and everybody started buying the crap out of this, you know, older games and collecting them and everything, the prices went sky high and they got bought out by GameStop, I believe.
Well,
But yeah, Babbage's was fun.
I really don't see GameStop lasting too much longer. I've seen a few places close down.
It was
When,
mis.
well, not only that, is you can digitally buy everything these days.
Yeah, yeah. But
And then,
they could have transitioned into something. You don't want all your eggs in one basket, so they could have done more to
oh,
get
yeah.
in with the companies selling accessories and stuff to offset, whatever. But it's the management of GameStop is, they were supposed to get the CEO of Nintendo was supposed to be like the CEO of, I don't know if that ever happened, of GameStop. The
Uh,
older CEO, forget his name.
I don't know.
But
A lot of these physical places are shutting down.
yeah, Amazon and Walmart and all them, they're killing them. It's
Yeah.
just so easy it's cheaper to buy it online a lot of times. And
You know what kills me about I like Amazon. Their shipping used to be great. And when I say great is you would look for the item you wanted and it said 2 days, right? And normally you would get that item in 2 days. Now, if you order this item and it says 2 days, you may get it in 4 days, 5 days, and they could
a
sit on it.
fortnight.
They could sit on it processing, and it technically didn't ship until it says it
Hmm.
shipped, and then it has 2 days to get to you, and that's how they get around
Yeah,
that now. And
yeah. A lot of their stuff is not. I've noticed a lot of stuff is like not even in stock, and they'll say, "Oh, you'll get it in like today's like Monday. You'll get it Wednesday, and it's not even in stock." And then you order it, and they'll update it, and they'll say, "Oh, when it comes back in stock, we'll send it to you." Or you order it and it's from China and they don't tell you, and it takes like 2 weeks to get to the U.S. shore with
that's kind of
all
like
kinds of viruses
you.
attached to the box.
You better watch on Newegg when you order stuff, huh?
Oh,
If you're not paying attention, it could be coming from China.
mm.
Yeah,
That's why I always click that button, New
yeah,
egg only.
I've made the mistake of they had a sale on a M.2 storage, and I was like, man, that's a great deal and free shipping. Oh yeah, and then I buy it, and dude, 2 weeks later, I still didn't have it. Then it got lost in the mail, and then I never got it, and they refunded my money. Then the price went up.
Mm-mm.
So
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah, it's like that was horrible. That's something Newegg should have honored.
Oh yeah. They don't do that anymore either. Like you'll catch it on sale and then you won't get it and they won't honor it. Uh, Amazon used to. They used to honor it. Now you'll contact them. Hey, you bastards! I didn't get this thing at the price. And they're like, "Oh, so sorry. We'll send you a $5 gift card then or something."
Yeah, that's about right.
I've noticed eBay. If you look up stuff on eBay, you'll find it like it'll be on sale that day or whatever, and you're like, "Oh, that's not a bad price." And then when you go to look at it the next day, like 12 hours later,
Price
it's $20
increase.
more for what you just looked at. Yeah,
Or you put it in your
Amazon
basket.
does that too.
I know Amazon's the worst. Put it in your basket, and then 24 hours later it increased like $5. Then you'll wait another week, it'll decrease for $3. Then you'll wait, and then it'll increase another 10. It's like playing back and forth, and you'll have to
Yeah, it's
wait
like
for several months before it goes back to that normal price or below it.
have you
So
tried logging into a different account and looking at stuff? Sometimes it's cheaper under a different account. Seriously, I've done that before because I have my own, and then I check under mom's, and hers it'll be cheaper, or mine it'll be cheaper. They're like, "Oh, you bastards are playing games, huh?"
psh, yeah,
What
yeah.
I
So,
can't stand is the gas prices is such a racket. Like whenever back in the day, gas price stayed the same for months. You didn't have this, oh, it's 3 cents more today, oh, it's 10 cents less the next day. It stayed the same for years. It would stay the same, like a dollar five, whatever. And now, because of the internet and because of connectivity, they're like, oh, well, we're not making every single penny we can off this gas. So now today it's going to be 278, and tomorrow, oh well, we can lower it a bit. It's 272, and it's like what? It never used to be that way, and now it's you don't know what you're going to pay at the pump.
I know. Yeah. What kills me is our like the locations that we're in is we're closer to like refineries, okay?
Hmm.
But if you go east of here, you find that the gas prices are like tremendously lower, which I don't understand. Uh, I could go say an hour east, and their gas prices are like 30 cents cheaper,
Hmm.
and we're say we're. I'm just gonna give this a rough estimate. Say you're 30 miles from a refinery. Shouldn't you be cheaper than somebody that's like 100 miles from a refinery?
You would think
It just makes
that
sense.
Texas used to always be about the cheapest on gas too, because I remember a long time ago when we used to go through Texas, they'd have the stations that had the lowest price in the nation, and I'm talking about like this is back in the day when it was a little over a dollar. They'd have it for 89 cents.
That's what I like about a Bucky's. You know, all your Bucky's, they're cheaper than anywhere. Like, you can't beat Bucky's gas prices.
You know.
Yeah, we're also getting one
And then
in Louisiana.
maybe Elon will buy all the gas stations for us.
Oh man.
He's
Yeah.
buying everything else. Huh?
I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of curious the fate of TikTok. You know, what
It's
is
supposed
what
to be banned within the next week, huh?
should be the 19th. That's this weekend. That's Sunday.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
I think if it's not purchased by an American company, or I forget what the stipulations are, but they have until Sunday. And it just seems like it was set up for that.
Yeah, that's something weird about that because they were supposed to have been banned, I think, back during Trump's last term. It was near the end of it or something. He was supposed to ban it, and then
Well,
something
so yeah,
happened.
yeah. I did see something where he was talking about it, but see, the thing is they worked around it. They took it off of the government phones, government item, communication
Oh,
devices,
it was
and
never allowed on government phones.
well,
Yeah, even
they're
I don't think Facebook even is.
uh, I just know that it was they had to a certain point to take them off all government uh, phones and electronics. Uh, then Trump seen the severity of or the importance of it during the elections. So say like me, you and I can literally with an app like TikTok run for president, and we have a great chance of winning because of the amount of people or followers. If we had, I
Yeah.
mean, you reach so many people, and the last election, that's when Trump realized that people not only make money from this app, they can reach so many people, and it's like a freedom of speech. You know,
Yeah, I understand that, and I think Asmongold was talking about that, like, oh, he thinks it shouldn't be banned because it's a business. It's wrong to do that. But if that business is doing things that are illegal,
But
and
there's
you are, and they're a business that's not in the U.S., and you can't get a FOIA request on them because they're not a U.S. business, then that's a huge issue.
okay.
And I
So
think that's the main problem with it.
that's another thing is that they swap their servers to U.S. servers. Okay, so there's a U.S. based company that have their servers that they come like where they're using now. Also, is I'd like to say I hate using this all the time, but say Apple every time they update, and we talked about this before. You sign that, you check that user agreement, even though you're probably not reading it, but
Nobody's reading it. Like
they're
10,000 pages.
they're probably getting every information they want from you. You know
Mm,
what makes Apple any different from another company? You
yeah.
know, if another country wants your information, they're going to get it because they've already proven that they can take whatever they want with cyber attacks. You know,
Yeah,
so
but that, to me, you have a right to privacy. That's part of the Constitution. I know it's not specific on the right to privacy. It's more of like illegal search and seizure and stuff. But I don't see that as any different than somebody illegally searching and seizing your information on your device. How is that any different?
but that doesn't
You know?
that's just like Apple though. That doesn't make them right
Yeah.
either. But they're
Well,
gonna.
that's what I'm saying. The Constitution should protect people's privacy, and nobody's enforcing any of that.
Well, you know what they are enforcing? They're enforcing the Constitution. They're enforcing it for their own agenda because that's what they're saying. They're using the Constitution against TikTok, you know, to try to ban it, saying
Yeah.
that they're worried about our privacy now. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the reason is because it's they know that it's propaganda. It's Chinese propaganda is being promoted on there, right? And there is some stipulation. I don't know if it's a constitutional amendment or it's a bill or something that um, something to the effect that the U.S. people can't be propagandized by other countries, stuff like that. I forget how it goes, but I know it had to do with the news media at the time because we didn't have the internet back, then. So the news media wasn't allowed to uh, do propaganda for another country, like Sweden or Canada or whatever. It was only allowed to propagandize U.S. things. Um, and I mean, it's a protection because if you're allowed to propagandize China in the U.S., that's a big problem. So that was the stipulation, and they are actually there's proof that they're doing that. So that is a reason to go after them. But if it's not a U.S. company, it's a far harder to do, from what I've heard. Because you have FOIA requests, Freedom of Information requests. You can't do that if it's under another government's influence.
Give me a little insight on this. Which administration is trying to ban TikTok? Do you know?
Currently,
Yeah. Do you know which one?
uh, Biden, I guess, the Biden
Okay.
admin.
So 6 hours ago, the headline for NBC News is saying that the Biden administration is looking for ways to keep TikTok available in the U.S. Do you know what
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying?
I know it's all a game. You know that movie Wag the Dog. That's all. You can't tell me that dude who I saw a video of him, a recent video, and he is gone. He's gone. He's already left the planet. He doesn't know where he's at. He doesn't even know his own name hardly.
Yeah, he ain't running it.
And you mean to tell me he's signing all this crap? And no, there's somebody that's grabbing his hand and like, here, sign this, and forcing him to sign this garbage, all these pardons and all this stuff. He's not doing that. They're just putting papers in front of him and tell him sign this. He's been signing this stuff for 50 years, so it's normal to him. Your long-term memory stays, your short-term goes. So he's like, oh, paper, sign.
Yeah.
Oh, paper, sign.
Well, the new app that everybody's flooding is it's called Red Note, supposed to be similar to TikTok, but it's also Chinese owned.
Oh, that sounds great.
So you're leaving one to go to another, you know. But
Yeah. Uh, Let me tell you, everyone out there, listen. If China owns it, don't touch it. It's probably not good to be on that. They're not good. The government, not the people. The government is not good people. If
mm,
you know full well if Russia had
well,
come out with like
you
TikTok,
gotta you
they'd be
gotta
all against that.
you gotta watch what you say though, because most people make a living on TikTok, and they haven't had any bad repercussions from it. You know, they produce their videos, they send their videos, they even advertise businesses on here, and we've also had like several U.S. What was it? They've looked at this to see, you know, what information's actually been shared. You know, that's why they moved to the U.S. servers. They agreed to do
Yeah,
so. Um,
yeah. So it's a filter, so they can't collect
I'm
everything.
guessing that's what they're using it for. I don't know the exact, but I know they did have to do something like that, move to a U.S. server. They couldn't just come off of China.
Yeah, my main problem is not so much TikTok as the collection of information, and that's across the board. Facebook, MySpace. I don't care what site or app or what it is. You should not be allowed to take people's information just for accessing the app,
Mm.
owning a device, any of that crap. All that stuff needs to go away. If I want you to access my information, it should be I should know what information that is that you're accessing. And it shouldn't be a 7,000 page novel that I have to read to understand what all you're accessing. And also, it should not be in lawyer speak so I can understand what it is.
Hint, hint,
But
Apple.
that one. Yeah. It's not just Apple, Facebook. Do you realize the permissions? I'm not talking specifically to you. I'm talking about anyone watching. Do you realize the permissions you give Facebook when you put it on your phone? Basically, you just gave Facebook your phone. It can do whatever it wants. It can change your words, all that stuff. But how is that crap legal? I don't understand how that's legal for them to just have a thing that pops up and is like, "Hey, you got to sign this to use Facebook," but now we basically own your phone and all your information. Bullcrap. All that should be private, and the government should protect all that stuff. And any company that's taking that stuff, they should be fined and shut down until they stop doing that crap. But no, there's no protections for the people whatsoever. You've got all these companies, and the reason is because the government uses that same information. They build databases on people. It's their spyware. They're using it. Facebook was basically, if you look into it, the beginning of Facebook wasn't doing that great. MySpace was actually doing better. But then Facebook got a lot of money from somewhere, and it is theorized it was the NSA that paid Facebook a whole lot of money to change their infrastructure, and then Facebook took off. So yeah, probably why a lot of ex three-letter agency people work there. Yep. So it's all
MySpace.
just to get your info.
Haven't heard
MySpace
MySpace
was the
in
best.
forever.
I wish MySpace would come back and be like, we're not taking your info. You just put whatever you want on there and you connect with people. You know, they need to come back out with MySpace and to do that. But like, you don't have to sign this crap. It's free. You just connect with people. We're going to run a few ads on there, whatever. You can get big on here. We're going to run these stupid little videos like TikTok has as well. And we're not going to take anything from you. And they would skyrocket. It would be the next big app.
Excuse me. You seen Meta, the Meta or whatever?
Meta. Yeah.
So what is it? What's his name?
Zucker turd?
Yeah, Zuckerberg, right?
Turd. Yeah, Zucker turd.
So he's supposed to be. I seen something about laying off like 1,000 employees, but he also, it says that he has left his leftist agenda and has went more right. and
Yeah.
he is getting rid of like he's using something called productivity. If your productivity is low in his company, then he is replacing you with AI, like programmers. I guess it's like a
He's
test
basically
run, but
he's copying X is what it is because he's losing. You know how many people he has lost on Facebook to X? They migrated back to X whenever they saw that their speech wasn't being, you know, uh, inhibited. So he's losing people left and right, and the only thing he has on Facebook now is a bunch of, echo chamber progressive people because they banned everybody else. So he has to do this to save face as well because of the incoming administration. It's kind of funny he's doing this near the end of the Biden admin, right? Like all these
yeah.
people all of a sudden turning around as soon as this changes. It's definitely he definitely had a change of heart. I'm gonna tell you that. I believe
And
him 100%.
and then he also jumped on the Joe Rogan podcast here recently to explain things.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I believe him 100%. I don't know about anybody else. I trust him. I would trust Mark Zuckerberg with my life. He is a saint, and we should all believe him and his robotic looking face and eyes.
Anyway, so you did see the new Nintendo Switch, right? The two, they actually came out. The first look,
I
they
didn't see it. I heard they were gonna release the
it's been
a video of
announced.
it or something, or announce it.
They got the video, first look trailer. Yeah, I would show it to you, but you know, we're in the process of doing like
I wouldn't show
virtual
it anyway because Nintendo likes suing people for just showing their crap now.
anything with their name, right? But
Yeah.
so we're we're in the process of like virtual podcasting. You know, when we can't be, I can't have anybody here. Um, so we're gonna have future guests coming. I already have someone scheduled for from Tennessee.
They're coming
Uh,
from the future?
Tennessee.
I gotta go back to 1985.
Anyway, so we'll have a guest possibly next week from Tennessee, and I'm working on getting us a guest from Arizona. Um, so that'll be interesting because I've talked to him a little bit, and the immigration issues in his city around Phoenix has skyrocketed, and he says it's horrible. So I'm kind of curious to have him come on the show and talk about it, and hear what he has to say.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
But
a lot of people who've been screwed over by that. The people, especially like right along the border, man, I feel sorry for them. Like they have to put up with that every single day.
yeah, 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 I couldn't. You have to worry about your house being broke into. You have to worry about you and your children making it to either school or work safely.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and
In the
then
and you're in the United States and you have to worry about that guy. That's crazy to me.
you have to
Like,
watch out for these gang members that are coming through.
oh yeah.
I seen they just caught some people transporting like AK-47s across the border. Like, how many did you?
Oh, oh,
How many have you not caught? How many
yeah.
thousands have you not caught? You know what I'm saying? So,
I need one. I wonder if they'd sell one to me.
sure.
Kalashnikovs are good, man. That's some good weapons.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
I bet you they were full auto too.
probably. Yeah, I'd like to get my hands on a couple of them too, just for like the range and stuff. That'd be
And rub the
interesting.
serial number off.
No,
Oh,
yeah, okay.
they probably don't have none on those. If they're coming across the border with them, they ain't got no serial number.
Probably they probably got handed from Russia to whoever was coming. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
A lot
oh,
of people they were talking about how it's not an invasion, they're just, immigrants, whatever. And it's like they're bringing weapons. And even if they didn't, they can get weapons here. That's a freaking invasion.
Not only that, is they're taking over like buildings. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like, oh, I'm taking over
They're
this
like, "Oh,
corner.
no, no, stop doing that. Stop it."
Yeah, you got people that's becoming homeless, and the cops can't. What are they going to do? You know,
Yeah.
they're already
They
the police departments are already underpaid. You know,
Yep, and understaffed too because a lot of them quit during
COVID. Oh, I ain't supposed to
the
say that word.
pandemic.
Pandemic.
The pandemic. You know what the
Anyway,
democ is? That actually fits too, the pandemic. That means doesn't that mean like the touch of death or something?
I don't know. No, but we're also coming to a close, so I want to thank you, DuhZeez, for coming on, and tune in for next time's episode of
I like my
B- BSing with White Eagle Y.